Welcome back to Harrelson Trumpets. Today we're in the music room and I want to show you a few things. Essentially, this is where we keep our sheet music and our records, and we have a full collection of CDs. So if you ever visit us here in Denver, Colorado, if you collect trumpet music, then this is a great place to check it out. We may have one of the largest collections of LPs, CDs, and sheet music that's no longer in publication. And I'm not going to show you all of it, but I'll hold a couple things up just so you can see. We have a lot of cool stuff, a lot of rare LPs and sheet music, and of course CDs and all that other stuff. But I also want to show you this Adams trumpet and this Yamaha Flugelhorn, because these have been hiding out in this room for several months, and I've just been too busy to really promote them at all. But they were both taken in on trade last year. And I'll start with this Adams trumpet, which is, I forget what model it is. I should know all these by now, but Adams kind of slips my mind. Oh, it's an A4. It's an A4, and it's got a .40 on the receiver. I think that might be the thickness, the bell thickness. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what that is. If you know, then you know. So, but it is marked A4. They've got some very, very light engraving on the receiver. I'm not sure. It looks like maybe they acid etched that. And then to show you a little bit about the horn, they do have, again, it looks like an acid etched engraving on the bell right there. And this bell is obviously larger. Looks like maybe around 5.5 inches. It's got some kind of a rough cut wood inlay. I can't really tell what those are, but they must be going for a rough look because they are rough looking. And it seems to be nickel uppers on the valve casing, bronze valve casings, and then nickel bottom caps, along with nickel accents throughout. I like the use of nickel on brass. That's what I do with my own horns, because the nickel is very hard and very smooth, and then it doesn't react very quickly with the brass. So if we have different types of materials, like different types of metals, then they can have galvanic corrosion. And in this instance, nickel and brass tend to work really well together. It has, I don't know what you would call this shape, but I would call it a double radius tuning slide, because you can measure one radius probably here, and then it blends into another larger radius here, and the same kind of double radius going on in the bell crook. And you know, I haven't noticed any difference with that specific shape, but there it is. And we've got some Yamaha water keys on it, a third slide screw stop, and the bell has been repaired. You can see in the photos. I don't know what happens, but it's a fairly thin bronze looking bell, and I don't know if that's just a tint to the lacquer or if it was actually bronze. The reason I say that is because the back of the bell, when you look at it back here, it looks a little more like yellow brass. So I'm not really sure how Adams is achieving that or what their goal is there. You can also see that someone had installed a different receiver on here, and they had removed this brace and this receiver, and then it looks like they put it all back on. So there are some dings and dents on this Adams A4, and that is why the price has been discounted. Let me play it first with the Spectratone Blue mouthpiece. It has a bigger, warmer sound. Even though the bell has been repaired, it sounds just fine. Yeah, it feels just fine. This is a smaller room, and it's got a fairly high ceiling, and I'm getting some resonance, so it's decent, you know. must have some different design to the way they tune these horns. Yeah, it's different. It's different than a Harrelson, definitely. But if you're looking for a horn on a budget that's got a bigger bell and it's got the nice bronze valves and the nickel highlights, then maybe this Adams A4 is for you. Now let's move on to, well, let me play it once with Spectratone Red. Even though it's not designed to be a lead horn, we'll put a lead mouthpiece in it. Yeah, so it definitely does light up a little more with Spectratone Red. That is the Adams A4. And like I said, it's been sitting here for a few months. I forgot about it. We don't normally take Adams horns in on trade. I made an exception. This is a Yamaha Flugelhorn, and the model is the 631G. And I did play this once when I took it in on trade. I really liked it, and I thought, well, maybe I'll just take it home and play it for a while. But I never did. So I might as well sell it. It appears to be, let me look real close here. It appears to be in really good shape. I mean, the bell itself doesn't really show any dings or dents at all. And the lacquer is really nice. It's got nickel and brass again, and the bell does look like it could have a tinge of a rosy color, so it may have a little extra copper in it than normal. I have to change my mouthpiece out to have the Flugelhorn back bore, so that's all I'm doing here is taking the Trumpet back bore out and putting the Flugelhorn back bore in, and then we can play it. All right, let's check it out. There it is. That's a really nice warm flugel. Wow, intonation is really good with the alternate fingerings, which tells me that whoever designed this horn and tuned it, in other words, tuned the design, they spent a lot of time doing that. And not every company does that. That's something that we work really hard to do. Oh, I do see one little ding right here on the second slide. There is a little tiny ding right there. Man, otherwise this flugel is in really great shape. I'm just looking closely to see if I can find any more dings or dents. Huh. Whoever owned this, well, I know who owned it, he took really good care of it. And unfortunately, he got that one little ding, but that could be taken out very easily. It's got the third slide trigger. Wow. Okay, well, I don't know how much we're charging for this flugel, but being a really decent Yamaha, I think it'd probably just be a great flugelhorn for anyone who wants a pro level horn that's going to really work in all situations where you need a flugel. So that is the Yamaha flugel that we have, and then I just want to quickly grab the camera and show you guys some of the music. Try to keep this video short. So when you do visit, we do have a lot of different things. One of the things I want to show you is this section here. So we have a lot of etudes that are Leduc, and their original publications. They're French, and I want to show you a couple of the more interesting ones. Let's get in here a little bit. Okay, you guys are probably familiar with a lot of these. Yeah, so check this out. We have a lot of these. They came from one collection, but I just want to open this up. These are all oversized, and I love the oversized pages and sheets. They're still in really good shape, and I would like to play through and record a bunch of these before they sell. So that's what I'll be working on a little bit this summer, is just playing through a lot of these French works that I've never seen before. A lot of them I've never seen, and I'm sure there are thousands of works I've never heard of because they're published in other countries, and a lot of times they don't come here. Now, some of these you know, obviously, and some of them I just don't know. Even though I studied classical music in college, there's a lot of these that I have not seen, and I've just got boxes and boxes of really cool old etudes and concertos. Look at that, the Tomasi 6 etudes. I've never actually seen this in the original print. There it is. So I wanted to show you some of that, and of course we have tons of different types of trumpet records, really every kind of genre you can imagine, and we've got modern to vintage to all the way back to the oldest Louis Armstrong records that were, I can't even remember, whatever the earliest speed records were. We have a whole box full of those of Louis Armstrong, which are really cool. So if you get in here, then I would highly recommend this little room. There's not a lot of space in here. It's mostly filled with records and music, and hope to see you here in Denver, Colorado. Remember that we do have the option of putting down a $500 deposit, and when you visit, basically what that does is it gives you a scheduled date to come and visit. So you'll have a private tour. I'll give you a private lesson. I'll even pick you up at the airport if you need that. And I'll spend the day with you, training you on our technology and our instruments, fit you for a mouthpiece and a trumpet. And when you purchase a trumpet that day, then you do get an extra $500 credit. So you get the $500 you paid, which will equal a $1,000 credit total. If you're purchasing a trumpet, and if you're purchasing a mouthpiece, then you get an extra $100. So your $500 becomes $600. And I'd recommend you guys do that because first off, it ensures that I'm going to be here and I'll be able to work with you because we chose those dates already. And at the same time, you get the extra credit. And then you get to come here and do all the training and learn how to use all of our equipment, which, you know, than other instruments. You know, we like to say that you can't really compare Harrelson equipment to other trumpets, and that's because the technology that we incorporate into our horns doesn't exist in other manufacturers, like the Venturi gap receiver, you know, this system, which completely changes your reality on any of our trumpets. And then like something like the Muse is fully modular, but even without that, we have the variable performance system, the modular mouthpiece system, and standing wave efficiency, all of the horns, which is a technology that we pioneered, and we're the only ones that use it. So I want to thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.